So it is week 6 of quitting smoking weed, and I still am not having cravings, really, for weed. Basically, if you're watching this, I know that you probably feel really miserable and like you can't stop smoking weed no matter what. Because that's how I felt. And I was addicted to smoking weed for 7 years. And I smoked every single day. I smoked weed every day, throughout the entire day, day in and day out. And addictions really suck. It actually really sucks having an addiction. I found weed in my teenage years, and I really self-medicated with it. I thought that it was helping my feelings, but that is quite the illusion. That is quite an illusion that drugs produce. All I was doing, I think, every time I smoked weed because I felt like shit, was muting any possible motivation I had to change why I felt like shit. So weed made me really comfortable with what was uncomfortable for me. So if I felt insecure or felt upset or felt lonely, especially loneliness is a really, really big one, actually. I would smoke when I felt lonely. You know what you're supposed to do when you feel lonely? You are supposed to go out and socialize and do something about that feeling of loneliness. But instead, I would be alone in my room smoking weed, and it would make me feel less lonely. And I think weed, to a lot of people, it starts to feel like some sort of almost best friend, kind of. It certainly felt like it was alleviating my loneliness, or any heavy emotions I was feeling. But I think over time, it was actually really undermining me and making them a lot worse. I just know how it feels to try to quit. I tried to quit or stop or control my smoking so many times, countless times. It got to the point where I would only allow myself to hit the wax pen once every 4 hours. And then I would, at some points it was once every 12 hours. And I was just chomping at the bit when I was doing that. And weed is not some harmless plant that people try to portray it as. It's just not. And the way that dispensaries are marketing it is extremely dangerous. And not only that, but weed is like, I don't even know how many times stronger than it was in the past, 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago probably. They just keep making it stronger, through breeding the plants, and it's causing worsening mental health situations and symptoms for people. I could really go off about a lot in this video, honestly. I used to take an antidepressant and I would smoke so much weed on top of that. I think if you're taking, psych meds are a form of drugs technically, but it's definitely not good to combine any type of psych medication with other substances. It's probably a whole nother story, is my experience with antidepressants. But anyways, I really don't have much to say right now for my 6-week update, other than it feels good to be able to breathe. Feels really good to be able to breathe and not to have a lung and sinus infection from my smoking. I would smoke and develop these infections like sinus infections, and I would continue to smoke with them. Or I would be coughing up black tar from smoking the bong or smoking joints so much. And that didn't stop me. You know, seeing black chunks in my sink did not deter me from smoking weed. That's, you know, that's really how shitty you actually have to feel inside, you know, to use substances like that, actually. So what do I think has helped me quit? Big thing is my diet. Eating a lot of animal protein, eating steak, bacon, and eggs, it has helped, and organs. It has helped diminish my anxiety significantly. Also, I showed this in the last video. Writing too helps me a lot. It's my beautiful journal. Lifting helps me a lot, working out. But I really think what has helped my mental health the most is my diet. I don't eat sugar. I think sugar is like the devil. And yeah, I just want to keep making these week update videos, and also more videos too. I don't know, I guess making these week update videos give me something to talk about every week, but I would like to talk about more things more frequently, sort of. Other things that kind of bother me, actually, like transgenderism, and just other things regarding health and fitness and wellness. And I want to talk about religion too, but I'm just not sure, and about OCD. I'm just not sure how many people will resonate with a lot of what I have to say, but I also don't really give a shit if they do or not. Anyways, I have been in the kind of the, like, I don't know how to put this, the funnel. I have been in the funnel of marijuana addiction before, and it's really, really hard. And anyone who tries to say that weed is not a real drug or anything can shove it up their ass, honestly. Maybe it wasn't for you, it wasn't an issue for you, but it is for other people, and it is a serious, actual problem for them. Just like anything can become an addiction, you know, any other type of drug or substance, gambling, sex, food. You can really become addicted to almost anything, and it's just really what you find is your drug of choice. So this is, I don't know how I've been talking for 8 minutes. I really started this not even knowing how to keep going in the first 10 seconds. But yeah, quit smoking weed. It's disgusting. You know it's disgusting. You can feel that it's disgusting. It disgusts you to do it if you're watching this video. And also quit vaping. If you vape nicotine, that is straight up my response to vaping nicotine. I am so grateful that I never got into vaping nicotine heavily. Every single time I've smoked nicotine, it makes me feel like shit. And also, I just, this is another point I'll make. When I started smoking weed, or, you know, throughout the entire time I smoked weed, I never understood why people liked being buzzed off nicotine. You know, I just hate I hate nicotine. And I always would prefer to smoke weed, actually. And I just never understood why people like nicotine, because the buzz barely lasts. The buzz lasts, what, 1 minute or 2 minutes? Why would I smoke nicotine for a 2-minute buzz when I could smoke a bowl of weed and be high for multiple hours? Vaping is disgusting. It's sick. Vaping weed is also sick. Smoking weed is sick. actually using any drug is really, really disgusting. And you know what the hardest drug actually is, I would say, is facing reality sober. I would say there's no harder drug than just raw dogging life. And I just don't want to be high for the rest of my life, and that, or ever again, honestly. I do like mushrooms, but I don't do them often. And last time I really did mushrooms, I had this vision of the Virgin Mary that scared the hell out of me. It didn't really scare me, but what happened after that vision was really concerning. I felt like a lump move up my throat, and then I just started praying really hard not to let whatever it was come up. So I have no idea what that was about. But pretty much every single drug that people do is gross. Yeah, I would love to motivate people to quit smoking weed. I would love to bully them into quitting smoking weed, scare them into quitting smoking weed. Smoking weed was giving me cancer. That's right. Smoking weed, especially concentrates, can cause cancer. Head, neck, mouth, lung cancer. And weed is full of these chemicals that scientists are still trying to figure out what they even are. And the cannabis receptors, the THC receptors in your body are super close to the opiate receptors in your spinal cord. So when you have a sky-high tolerance to weed, you're also going to have a tolerance to opiates. Do you know how dangerous that is if you're in a car accident or an emergency situation and you need help and they don't know that you're a stoner? Or how dangerous that is during surgery. If you do not disclose to your surgeon that you smoke weed incessantly, then you could risk waking up during the anesthesia. Anyways, this is my 6-week update. I'm getting surgery next month. And I really can't wait. I can't wait for that surgery. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Honestly. Good luck.